Hello crafty friends, and today I have a Groundhog Day layout for you. I'm going to show you the photos that I am using and also the paper pack, and then I'll show you the clips from the two layouts. That one was inspiring the layout and one was the one that we did last year for the first time. So here I'm going through and pulling out some of my embellishments that I thought would work with the cover for the haircut, and I'm just kind of gathering my supplies. This is the Be Yourself stamp set, and I thought it was just perfect. It had all these words about be yourself and courage, and this is our daughter when she was 7 years old, almost 8, and she had waited and waited and waited to cut her hair for Locks of Love, and this is what she really wanted to do. So she went from long hair pretty much all of her life to a pixie cut. So I used the Misty to go ahead and cut these stamps. I'm pulling it up kind of slowly because if I needed to go back down and make sure any of the ink got transferred, I wanted to be able to do that. So here I went to the scan and cut, and I cut out these images from the stamp set. If you want more information on that, I will have a link in my video description to that video. It just came out on Monday, January 30th, and I show you how I do this, and I cut some shadows for around those people, but it just wasn't, I didn't think I wanted to use them. So here I'm trying to decide what cardstock, if I want to use flamingo or if I want to use raspberry. Neither one is a perfect match for the cape for the hair cutting, but I kind of like it on the flamingo better, so that's the direction I'm going to go in. Here is the original inspiration layout for last year's Groundhogs Day, and then this is what I did last year. So it still has some of the banner ends, and the title is over on the left hand page. So just kind of a general progression of things. Both of those have some stencils that were used, and I will use stencils today. So I'm starting with kind of doing just a basic photo placement, and then I had many interruptions in my day when I was creating this. I'm not sure if you get that when you craft or not. Most of the time I do pretty good and can get recording in 1 or 2 slots, but just seemed like yesterday everybody wanted to talk to me, and that was fine. So I'm just auditioning different papers. I tried that straight paper first and I liked it, but it just seemed a little much. So then the sapphire pattern paper with the striped zip strip, I love that. So that's gonna stay. And then this paper here, also the green flowers is a zip strip, or leaves I'll call it. And I plan to do some banner ends, just like the original 2 Groundhog Day layouts on those. And then I added the pink stripes here with the banner ends, totally to pay honor to the original layout. And I thought I would do it on this photo, but it just got lost with the flowers. For me, it was just too much of a good thing. So I took those off. I will end up using one of those banner ends later. I'll show you. And then I realized as I'm looking at the layout that the flower paper doesn't go over the stripe, because I kept thinking to myself, oh, you could cut that down and save paper. Why would I do that? I'm not normally like this. And I realized that it's moved over, that the stripe is actually dividing those 2 pieces of flower paper. And on the other layouts, they're different colors, but for this, you get the idea. And now I feel like this is a good direction. I know this is the layout I want. I like it. And I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for my, I don't know, mixed media or interest in the background. And I had seen another close to my heart maker use this background stamp set, and she used one of the stamps that I had never used before. So I thought I would try it, and I was just auditioning it. That's what the stamp set was out there for, and I decided it's not for this project. She had used it very effectively on the side of a card, and I think I'm going to start with that use, or the side of a photo. Here where I want more, I guess, broader representation of texture in the background, I needed something small, but that would cover a lot of space. So here I'm just using the white textured paste as it comes out of the bottle. I like to slide my stuff out of the way. I feel like I get a better idea of really where I want things. I used to try to use my pencil and draw lines, and you'll probably see me do that again because this is a new way of doing things. And since I've been scrapbooking for over 16 years now, you know, some habits are hard to break, but I do like this of just sliding the papers around because like I said, I feel like I'm getting the stencils or background stamps or all of that into more of the location I really want them. So here then I'll slide those up because I can't slide them down because that textured paste is dry. It dries very quickly. By the time that I show you my tip for putting away your textured paste and then I wash up my spatula and the stencil, I come back and it's already dry. So here next I'm going to show you my little tip that I have for when you put your textured paste away. I try to flatten it down so that there's no holes in it, which just makes more, or less I should say, area to dry out. And then I also try to make sure that if I've scraped off any from my spatula, it's down with the main unit here. And I'm trying to make sure that I don't spray any water on my layout. So that's what I did, is I did 4 squirts of an aerosol of water on top of that before I put my press and seal right back on top of the paste. And for me that has worked out really well. I used to have trouble with that drying up and not anymore. So I decided that I needed something more with my title. It was just getting kind of lost down there in the bottom corner. So I put those onto the raspberry cardstock, which balances nicely with the big flowers on our pattern paper, kind of giving you that interest. And you can see here where I did turn over those flowers so that they have the sapphire blue background with flower bouquets on them. Again, I think that just helps with the girls that are in blue, and it just ties your eye. For me, it helps your eye flow around the paper. I'm trying to keep, like, there's a bottom flow, but there's also a top flow. Because there's a lot going on, I wanted to make sure that your eye kind of had some places of rest, if that makes any sense. This layout, once I got it started, came together very quickly. I found the stamp set with the Be Yourself, and as I'm looking at it here at the end, I had already applied my gems. I knew that I needed to do my journaling, and I also felt like I needed to balance that raspberry color in the upper right corner of this cardstock. So as I was looking for something to bring in that raspberry, I found these daisies. And the yellow flowers and the pink flowers that I had out earlier didn't work. They just weren't the right color by the time I got this all together. But these daisies were perfect. In fact, Aubrey was here and we were talking about, I wanted some input on the journaling on this page. Because she was so young, I wasn't sure if she remembered that she really wanted to donate this to Locks of Love, and she said yes. So I typed up my journaling here on a 3.5, but I think it ends up being 5.5 inch card. It might only be 5 inches. And I decided I'm going to do a hidden journaling. It doesn't need to be hidden. It's just there's so much going on this page that to find room to add my journaling, I'm going to sneak it in behind this photo. So I don't make you watch me take that photo off and do all the adjustments, but I did put foam tape underneath the photo, and I also made sure to put foam tape at the bottom of where the tag is so it can't go in any further than what you see here. Now I have an old stamp set that came with a thin cut called Just a Little Something, and it has the words pull open, and that was because the thin cut set that it came with, you could do like a perforated tab that you then put that pull open tab on to rip it. But I just wanted the word pull, but for me I had the stamp with the word pull on it so the journaling won't be lost. So here's a close-up of my layout. I'm really excited with how this came out. It's another memory that's ready to go into the album. It's using up some of my supplies as far as those daisies, so it's a win-win. Be sure to check out all the other gals on the hop in the description below my video. If you want more information from me, here's how you can connect with me, and that scan and cut tutorial is also in the video description.